Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. We're back. It's in the corners, right at the brink of the regular season in the BCIHL. Matt, how are you doing?
Reese, I'm doing good. We're back for another season. I'm on a up and down roller coaster with my beloved Blue Jays. I'm going
Oh, they're
bonkers. I'm
going
going
right now, aren't
crazy.
they? I think they're playing
Yeah,
right
the
now as we're
yeah,
recording.
I cannot watch this. I'm a Blue Jays. That's my team. I got the tattoo.
Oh,
I'm an Oilers fan, right? But nothing will top the
absolutely.
Jays for me. So I'm in bad shape right now. I'm hurting. But the other thing is where I'm living right now, I got this woodpecker that keeps damaging the house in front of the house. So I sprayed bug spray from the top of the house to the I keep dumping bug spray on the house and he keeps
Might
coming
help.
back for more. So
Oh,
that's a little bit of insight into what's going on with me today. I'm
true.
working at home.
Absolutely.
How are you doing? What's going on over there in Ontario?
Oh, you want to hear? I got something for you.
Yeah.
So you're having woodpecker problems? You know what problems we're having here in Ontario? Traffic up,
Oh,
down,
traffic.
left, center, northwest, southeast, anything you want. If you live in Southern Ontario right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everything is more expensive, maybe 2 times more than last year. And last year, it was already super expensive. So we get that. But then we also get the worst traffic at name a time. Name a time.
And you
It's
sound like
horrible.
a Toronto person now.
I can't
What are you
do it.
living at Queen and Dundas West?
I mean, funny you say that. I'm on Dundas Street East, working construction right now. But
Holy
I'll tell
moly.
you this: it is just if you are from BC, which hopefully you are, if you're watching this, stay there. Don't visit. Don't do. It's not worth it. Clifton Hill sucks. Everything. It all
well,
sucks. Toronto sucks. It sucks. Just wait.
well,
Give it a couple
you're
years to
waiting.
where it's cheaper.
You're sitting there in
Oh,
traffic and I'm dumping bug spray on my house. So
I
we're kind of in tough times right now in the
we are.
corners.
We are. But I'll tell you this: stay away. That's the last time I'll say it.
Yeah.
Just it is a place that has done nothing but get worse. Hopefully, in the future, we'll see better, like the BCIHL, which moving on and away from that negative thing that is Ontario, Canada. Let's move on to the BCIHL, where many teams will want to improve and get better, like Ontario should be. Let's get into it.
All right, Reese is running for election. Reese, this was an epic week in the BCIHL, kind of a history making type week. And I've only been around for 2 seasons. I don't want to over exaggerate things, but from what I can tell, um, SFU played their game against the Michigan Wolverines in Ann Arbor. All right, that's NCAA Division One. VIU Mariners played their games in Alaska, Fairbanks and Anchorage. Victoria played ACAC in Edmonton against the Thunder. So take a look at the BCIHL right now and what is happening here with the programs. They're starting to compete with all of these more national leagues. And man, what a great time it was to watch you guys. Congrats to all the players and coaches and all the teams on an amazing weekend. It really is starting to, it's dialing things up for the regular season, which starts this weekend. What do you think of all that, Reese?
Just getting everybody ready to go. And what
Yeah.
better way than to give them an introduction to, let's be honest, and this is no disrespect, and don't take this as disrespect. It's just a measurement of how much time and money and great players that have went in and out of the programs. It's a good opportunity for these BCIHL guys to see a little bit of a higher level. You know, they're making a lot of these guys are making a big trip out to somewhere where a pretty big college team is going to play, and you're going to get a good view. You know, we heard about it last season with the Vikes when they went to Oregon to play the Ducks, and they talked about the experience. The experience kind of outweighed anything that they could have got hockey wise. You know what I mean? I think that was something that Keenan Eddy was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. It's the experience that they're going to take away from it, but also right before the season starts, it's one thing to get it kind of in the middle of the season because you're kind of tired, you've played a lot of hockey, but they're getting early in the season
Yep.
introduction. This is the pace of play elsewhere. let's kind of, see if they can find a translation from that into the BCIHL when they come back home. So a good experience for everybody, hockey wise and, lifetime wise.
Yep, exactly. Well, for our Vikes, they went down to Edmonton to play Concordia University Thunder. They did 2 games down there, Reese. You see that Friday, September 29th, it was a 3-2 win for Concordia. Sean Parkinson played a net that first game, 33 saves, 36 shots against. Now, can you see there the scoring summary? Do you want to say that part?
Well, yeah, Kyle Crew from Lucas Thompson and Tom Sweeney. So Tom Sweeney, we love Lucas Thompson too. He went through the season last year. Great player. We're glad to have these guys that are going to roll into obviously a junior role, sophomore role. They're going to get into that midway point of their hockey career here in the BCIHL. But no, you love to see that Kyle Crew. He's a new guy. Am I wrong?
Nope, you're right. He's on.
This is
He's
a
playing
new
on
guy.
defense, kind
And
of
this is,
with Gatenby.
yeah,
He's in the top pairing, a lot of power play. He's on the
yeah.
board there.
So I had to emphasize new guy because this is the type of impact that they're going to need based on who they lost. And, we talked about it all last season. The two fellas that they lost came three. Took a really big dent out of this team, right? In terms of scoring, if you're just looking at it statistically. But hopefully we can see some early scoring from the new guys. It's good to see a D-man getting on the board. And then obviously for that second goal, Lucas Thompson finishes off the night with a 2-point night. And who else also got a 2-point night? Like I mentioned earlier, Tom Sweeney. These are things that you love to see early on. Leadership guy like Tom Sweeney. He's been around the block. He's seen the team. This is what's going to translate into the season smoothly. And we're going to see hopefully, as we've been predicting, a shocking result for the Vikes, beyond what, is easily predictable, but something that maybe takes the league by surprise.
Right on. We love it. That same day, Friday, September 29th, VIU played U of Anchorage, Alaska Seawolves. NCAA Division One. It was 7-2 victory for the Seawolves. Good to see VIU up there. We saw some of their photos and some of their videos they posted online. Really happy for you guys. You look great up there. Got a couple goals. That looks like fun. Saturday, September 30th, the second game. Saturday, September 30th, the second game. The Vikes played their back-to-back with Concordia Thunder. 5-4 loss. Hunter Tarves, 31 saves.
Did you watch this one?
36 shots. These games were not broadcast.
Oh, they weren't.
The first Mariners game was broadcast. I watched a little bit of that one. But, not a lot of games on TV and YouTube so far. I think the broadcast just getting into the swing of things across the league.
Yeah.
One thing I'm noticing here I want to talk about in my one-timers is the Vikes goal scoring is really spread around. Thomas Jenkins, Aleko Sidrakis, Lucas Thompson again, and Booker Daniel. Those are the goal scorers in a 5-4 loss to the Thunder. Now, do you see that quote there I got from a Vikes team member, Reese?
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you're getting in that, you're getting in depth. These guys.
Yeah, Vikes team member. It was a great trip. The guys got closer during it. Chemistry is continuing to get better. We need to work on putting together a full 60-minute game. We've been having bad second periods that have cost us in games. So there we go. Vikes now 2-3 in the preseason. They beat the Mariners and SFU Red Leafs. They lost to the Mariners and they lost these 2 games to Concordia. So how about them apples?
Well, definitely less of a load than last year in terms of preseason. Am I wrong? I felt like last year they were put through the ringer in terms of just playing a lot of hockey. If you remember, it was like I think they played like 4 games in a weekend, right?
Well, yeah, they had 4 games against VIU at the start.
That's right.
But this year, just the 2. So
right. So they definitely got less of a load, but I think there's going to be more games in general, right? With the just more trips, more outside of the league matchups and stuff. But
yeah,
it's good. I appreciate that. I feel like the NHL kind of is going in the same way. take a little bit of a less workload approach to the preseason. You're going to see a better result in the offseason in the regular season in terms of injuries and durability and stuff, right? So good to see that. So, but yeah, no, that's I don't know. I don't hate that. I don't put a lot of emphasis in the preseason. I feel like if we were going off the preseason of last year, we would have had a completely different outlook on, the regular season. But I think this is going to be a big year for the Vikes. I think we've seen enough in terms of questions that we had before the season started. Are some of these guys going to be able to step up? And I feel like although the measurement of competition isn't equal to the regular season, we're seeing them step up. We're seeing some of our more senior, more experienced players step up. I don't know. I think we're going down the right direction. What do you think, Matt? You think
Well,
so?
there's a few things I want to point out from that I've noticed so far about the Vikes before we move on from them. So here's the three kind of one timers I got for you, Reese. And
Ooh.
before we look into the crystal ball in a game a bit later for you.
Oh,
But
that's
the
foreshadowing.
three one timers for me. The Vikes so far in preseason have 9 players who have scored a goal. So that is what it is. That's kind of interesting.
Yep.
Secondly, they have 7 players with 3 or more points. Now, this is all. Some of these points are not registered on the website, so this is the best of my research.
Right.
The best I can do here with my research. There, 3-point scores are Strange, Schofield, Sweeney, Sidrakis, Anstey, Sidaway, and Thompson. Team leaders in goals: Aleko Sidrakis has 3 goals, Anstey and Sweeney both with 4 points. So the offense is really spread around. There's not really one line that's dominating. It looks like they got scoring coming from 3 different lines plus the defense. And lastly, my third one timer is in the 5 preseason games, they've only allowed 11 goals. They shut out SFU. They've held VIU to 3 goals in 2 games. And then in Concordia, 5 goals, 3 goals. So total of 11 goals in 5 games. Pretty interesting for the Vikes. They're not allowing much scoring.
Better. Definitely better than last year. I think we can admit that. Right. And that is, no personal jab to anybody, but no, you just love to see that. That's just, it's an
We don't
evolution.
know how that's going to translate into the regular season, but it bodes well going forward.
Yes, for sure.
Saturday, September 30th, the regular season kicked off. The Miners played the Lakers 11-1. The Lakers, they won the game. So the Miners, that'll be the home opener for the Vikes coming up this weekend.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, that second game of the VIU Mariners in Alaska. They played Alaska Fairbanks. They lost 8-1. They're called the Nanooks. That game, I think, was delayed by a fire. Did you hear about that?
Whoa, no. What happened?
I don't know. Someone lit a dart in the wrong place. I don't know. I hopefully everyone's okay. I think they finished the game.
Okay.
But
that's horrible.
I just saw a photo of them like hanging outside during a delayed game. Somebody's toupee caught on fire there.
Yeah, I guess. Or maybe the arena's getting old, just like ENH Stewart Complex. It's just
I gotta watch out for my my hairpiece doesn't get lit up down there this year.
Yeah. It's true. You definitely got to pay attention to that, especially in the ENH Stewart Complex. You might take the wrong step and something's going to come falling down from the ceiling.
We love it.
Now, Reese, it's the best.
This thing with SFU, they played the Michigan Wolverines. Now that's the Michigan Wolverines, for crying out loud.
Yep.
Yost Ice Arena in Ann Arbor, Michigan. 5,000 people showed up to this. 5,521 people. They lost 8-1. Do you see some of those? You want to jump in here and see some of those facts about the game I noted there?
The facts.
Well, here I'll start off. I'm talking too much here, but the SFU goalies were Colby Matthews, Andrew Henderson, who we remember from last year. Matthews is the new goalie. 48 shots, 40 saves. SFU goalie. This is the non-conference team, right? It's the BCIHL team is different. This is the non-conference team. Walker Erickson scored the goal. Man, just amazing to see some of the photos of the Red Leafs down there. They had one good photo of them huddled around in the crease. at that famous arena. Just awesome to see you guys down there.
Yeah,
That is
no,
great.
that's scary from the SFU goalie. Am I wrong?
What part?
That's a good. Well, I feel like he played a good game.
Hard to say. I mean, 50 shots, you let in an 8 spot.
To me, getting bombed that bad,
Yeah.
that amount of saves shocks me. You could atone it to just luck or whatever, but no, if you look at that, I'm just like,
Yeah. Well,
that's
this
pretty
is
good.
yeah, I mean, SFU's kind of looking like they might belong in this division.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a bunch of evidence over the year.
Yes.
They're gonna play Colorado next and Boston.
Right.
But that's what they're trying to figure out, right? Do they belong in that division? So we'll have to see. I mean, the Wolverines, some famous NHL players. I had an interesting my friend Corey, big
Yep.
in the corners correspondent from the East Coast. East Coast
Oh.
Corey.
Yep.
I had this thought. Okay, I'm trying to understand this NCAA thing, right?
Right.
So, because what I know is like the Regina Pats, the Victoria Royals, the WHL, right? That's what I'm familiar with. I love the Brandon Wheat Kings. I was trying to think about this. If the Quebec Ramparts, who won the Memorial Cup, if they played the Michigan Wolverines, right, the NCAA team, you follow me? Like
Yes.
if the CHL's best teams played against the NCAA team, who would win? And
Oh.
Corey, the East Coast correspondent, said the NCAA team would for sure. Does that surprise you? What do you think of that?
Um. No. I think if he says that, he's been paying attention to the last 5 years because I feel like if you were to ask the same question 10 years ago, no, like the answer would be no. But I don't know. I I feel like even if you do get better players out of the CHL at the end of the day, just the way that these NCAA teams compete and they're coached, it's NHL-esque. Like the level of competition is high as ever. And I think any CHL fan can admit this. There's Memorial Cup games, and you know how big the Memorial Cup is. The Memorial Cup games can sometimes be a little lackluster in terms of entertainment. It's
Oh, really?
it's a little bit of a hot take, but sometimes the matchups are just like, well, this is a blowout or this is nothing. But
Right. I
with
see
the
what you
NC
mean.
like
Because the leagues.
The
Yeah.
Frozen Four in the NCAA it should be. I mean, it is. It should be hockey's March Madness, but it should be huge.
Yeah.
Honestly, arguably like kind of bigger than the NHL because the way that they compete is like they're gonna die, like it's gladiator level. So yeah, I do not blame your friend Corey, our East Coast correspondent.
Exactly.
I don't blame him at all. I think the NCAA could definitely do it. Definitely do it for sure.
So think about that. East Coast Corey, our correspondent, he's saying that SFU, it's like they're going up against the best team in the WHL. This is a big deal. So we wish them all the best. We're gonna keep our eyes on you guys. Head
Yep.
coach Mark Coletta said, "We know this was a big task, a big ask to play Michigan, but how we learn and grow from this experience is the key moving forward."
Good quote. Good quote.
Just
I mean, why? Yeah, no, it's and people think like, oh, maybe on first transcription of what he said, you think that's a little basic, but that's the game. When it comes to sports, you do have to simplify things to a very bare level. That's when it becomes a little bit more impactful. So no, I love that quote. That seems like a serious head coach. Simple, simple outcome.
we're going to see the SFU BCIHL team this month as well. They'll be here down here the third Friday of October, whatever that day.
Yep.
All I can think about right now is the woodpecker just out front of my
Those
house.
woodpeckers living
He's
rent
got,
free in your head.
yeah, he is, man. Like I can't keep the days
Yeah.
straight because this woodpecker is wearing like a red hat, and it's just
Oh,
woodpeckers
yes,
they have like a skull
they
of
do.
steel
Oh yeah, man.
because they don't want their brains to get damaged, right?
Yeah, no, over time they've evolved to have like extra, content in between that and their brain. And it's kind of like what the Vikes got to do. They got to find a way to evolve with the season. Lost a couple guys. Gonna bring in a lot of new guys. These new guys seem to be hungry as ever. What do? Capitalize on that. Evolve. Do what the woodpecker does. You know, get that thick skull. You got to evolve with the team. You gotta grow with the league. You gotta identify and yeah. Let's move on. What's
Yeah.
next, there, Matt? Let's do it.
Well, hey, before I want to do next a game here, looking into Reese's Crystal Ball of Fate. You like that title?
I love it.
In the Corner's Crystal Ball of Fate. But before we play the game, you got any more thoughts on the VIU going to Alaska, the Vikes going to Edmonton this exhibition weekend? Want to put a bow on it in any way?
The way I'll put a bow on it is enjoy it. If any of these guys happen to be listening to it, that's how I'll answer that question. I'll drive it in the way of the players. Enjoy it, have a lot of fun, get there, look around, enjoy it. I'm going to say it 3 more times. Just really feel yourself in that moment. It's not going to last forever. And I'll tell you this, it's only going to get harder from this point forward. You're going to surround yourself around these guys, and the mood is going to be up. But once you get into not even, I'd say late November, there's going to be a completely different feeling, whether good or bad. So just prepare yourself for that. Use the moments that you're having now as just good, positive vibes. Use that to remind you of what we're working for. What are we doing? We're using that to win us a BCIHL championship. So, yeah, that's all I got to say. That kind of goes to everybody. That doesn't, not just the Vikes, kind of everybody.
Yep. Everyone is 0-0 until the regular season begins. Well, actually, the Lakers are 1-0, but I love it. You got to seize the moment because there's no 2 seasons that are the same, right? And right now, everyone has a chance to win the championship in the BCIHL. Okay, looking into Reese's Crystal Ball of Fate. I thought I would do this, Reese. I will give you a projection of a win total for each BCIHL team for the season. I want you to pick, are they going to go over the win total or are they going to go under the win total? See what I'm saying? Are you down to look into the Crystal Ball of Fate?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, let's start with SFU. Last year, 19-1. This year, they're the expansion team in the league.
That's right.
So last year, the over-under, Reese, look into your Crystal Ball of Fate. 4.5 wins, over or under?
Well, the crystal ball right off the bat is saying under. We know that this is a different team. These are not some of the famous names that we had been lauding and talking about and going over and highlighting over last season. These are different guys. They're moving on to better things. So they got another team involved, and this team is going to have a lot of their prospect guys. It's going to have a lot of their development projects, maybe younger guys. So I think it's going to be a different projection than last year. And I think 19-1 is a prediction that would suggest that they're just kind of going to do similar or at least hold up the same expectation as they had last year, which is not the case. It's a different team. So definitely under. Going to be under on that SFU 19-1.
Well, 4.5 wins was the prediction for this year. So you're under 4.5, right?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. VIU Mariners last year, second place, 13-6-1. This year, they're looking to get it done, right? Even though they're missing Garrett Dunlop, but they want the cup. So over under, Reese, 15.5 wins.
Over.
Okay, over 15.5. Why is that, Reese?
Because right off the bat, immediately, because they are going to be in a position to take over the league. I mean, they put up a little bit of a competition against that SFU team, and that little bit is enough to say that they're going to have no problem competing with the rest of the competition in this BCIHL structure. So, honestly, it's got to be over. I mean, do you have any other opinions on that, Matt? I feel like that's kind of unanimous.
This is Reese's Crystal Ball of Fate. I don't know about the Mariners. I think it's going to be a logjam there between these 3 teams.
Big time.
Okay, Vikes. The University of Victoria Vikes, 11-8-1 last season. Lost in the first round of the playoffs to the Mariners.
Yep.
Over under Reese for wins 13.5.
Over.
Woo!
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Oh,
It's gotta be.
Reese
I
is
think,
saying
yeah.
13.5 over. Why is that?
Oh yeah. I think they got it, man. I think this is a year where people are gonna be surprised, but I mentioned it earlier. The goal is to surprise the league, and I think that's what they're gonna do. My hope, maybe we'll go back and we'll use this clip at the end of the season when I'm sorely mistaken and will make fun of me. But right now, no, I think the Vikes got it, man. I think they're gonna do nothing but go up.
That's a lot of wins considering last year they were 3-1 versus the Mariners.
It's true.
That'll be tough to duplicate that. But mind you, they were 0-5 versus SFU last year. That's going to change, most likely. So
Most likely.
13-5. Reese is taking the over for the Vikes. Okay.
Absolutely. By the way, I do have to shout out. I got a intramurals champion. Just had to shout that out just to let you
The
guys know
Rocky
that I am a
music.
real Vike. I'm a real Vike.
Hey, by the way, the Mariners are hosting a karaoke night. Did you see that?
Dude, hey, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you saw that, look at the time that this was uploaded and then immediately go to the Twitter or Instagram for the Mariners and get to that open mic so you can see Matt go up there and spit a freestyle rap.
Oh yeah, I know, man. I just thought it was funny because we talk about karaoke pretty much every show of In the Corners.
Yeah.
But the Mariners are making dreams come true there on the stage and behind the mic. That's going to be nice. Oh, by the way, we did our last week. If you missed it, we did that. We made the BCIHL All-Star Band, which was
that's right. You guys should tune in and witness that.
You got it. If you missed that, go back and see who we have on drums and bass and on the lead vocals and keyboards. Not to mention. Okay, Okanagan Lakers.
Lakeys.
Last year, 7-9-4. Those 4 overtime games, right?
Yeah.
Losses. They're revamped. We don't really know who's on the team yet.
Which is intimidating.
Yes. We hear that they're fired up from people around the league. They're already 1-0. So you get 1 win for free here, Reese. They beat the Miners 11-0 for crying out loud.
I mean,
Okanagan Lakers over under win total 12.5. 20 game season, remember.
Oh, they're going to do better than
that. Okay. It'll be a cakewalk for the Lakers to go over 12.5. Why is that, Reese?
You know why? Well, honestly, from what I just saw, it was a disrespect. So no kidding. Sorry, no, my cat just left me. It was totally sad. But listen, I'll tell you this right now: the Lakers are going to do way better. They're going to double. It's a hot take. I think it's going to be a close contention between second place and the Lakers. I think the Lakers. I don't think they're there yet to get that number 1 spot, whether it be the Vikes or VIU. But I do think they're going to be going bang, bang, bang for that second place position. And I think they're going to have a deep playoff run. So I don't know. I think you should check it out. I think that's a team that you're going to want to pay attention to. Lakers. Oh, yes. And, I'm excited for this last one. This is a little bit of a hot take.
Well, Lakers, we got to keep our eye open for Kolatin Boyarski. That's their new sniper down there. And a fan favorite.
Good luck with that, Matt. And play
Nolan Corrado. Remember that guy?
Yes, I do.
Nolan Corrado starring in this season of The Sopranos. Then I wonder if Nemeth is back. I don't really know yet. We're going to have to find out.
But we do know one thing. Matthew Enns is going to be back.
That's right. That leads us to our last team of over-under. The Logan Lake Miners. They're 0-1 so far. No problem. But last year, 0-20. Okay, Reese, keep in mind, SFU is an expansion season.
Yep.
And remember Logan Lake Miners? They're going to go down and play those Montana Grizz. Remember that part?
Yes.
What was it in Missoula? Did we figure out where that was? The Grizz?
Which I've been to. Yeah. we went over that.
I'm psyched for the Grizz. That's going to be great for you.
The Grizz.
All right, Miners, over under 1.5 wins. Reese.
Yeah, I'm going to go over. I think they'll get a couple W's. And I think every team should watch out. This is a team that you're going to walk in. You're going to feel no pressure. You're going to be like, oh, these guys suck. Oh, blah, blah. They're going to catch you. They almost caught the Vikes. We saw it. We were doing the call.
Yeah.
They almost caught them. They can catch anybody. Anybody. I mean that. So, Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, you can't really get better than that. I think every single one of those teams I went over. Am I wrong? Did I go under on
You have
anybody?
SFU under 4.5
Sorry,
wins.
that's the only, and that's the obvious one. So
Interesting
every
one.
other one, I think, is
Interesting,
which
buddy.
I think I'll tell you this: nothing but excitement for BCIHL fans. Am I wrong?
You're right. We're gonna have, yeah, with the minors, you never know. Matthew Enns will come up and steal one, or a couple, or three. Kyle Mistall, maybe we'll fire a few in. SFU, well, let's see what kind of goaltending they have too. They got, I can't remember that guy's name, Buccaneer or something. We're gonna have to learn all you
Buccaneer.
guys. We're gonna have to learn all you guys' names. We're gonna do a deep dive on SFU when they come down to the Vikes
We're
land
definitely gonna have to.
next week. Reese, I want to do in the corners hockey pool. What do you love it?
Ooh. Oh, that'd be very cool. Give us a quick breakdown.
Well, I'll give you kind of a group of like,
Okay.
here, let's tease group one. Brock
Okay.
Palmer, Logan Kirky,
Whoa.
Ryan Strange, Simon Nemeth, Kyle Mistall, and Ethan Jones. Pick one for your hockey pool.
I'm gonna go Jones.
There you go. So that's
Yeah.
kind of a teaser of what's going to happen. The group
Ooh.
might change because I haven't.
Okay,
really
I'm already
finished this
excited about that. So you
pool.
guys better tune in for the next episode.
There's
That's
going to
gonna
be
great.
7 or 8 groups of that. So I think we should do a little hockey pool. That'll be our fantasy
Let's do
team
it.
kind of deal.
I'm doing fantasy. By the way, guess who got the first pick? Yours truly. I got Connor
So-
McDavid.
Oh, McDavid. Okay.
Dude, I'm excited. And
I
there's
thought you were going to
there's
take Caulfield.
oh no. It's funny you say that though, because I did take him. I
I-
did take it. And people
surprising.
people talked crap. And I also took Suzuki and Montembeau. Now everybody who does fantasy saying, Reese, why did you take Montembeau? I'm betting
Sebastian
on the fact-
Montembeau from the Mariners.
No, not the Mariners. Don't bring
No.
up the Mariners. It's Blue Jays time. We know what happened last year with the Mariners. You're not allowed to use the word Mariners. It's
Right.
not allowed. Not for 2
I
years.
know.
So, but listen, we're running out of time here. I will say this: Go Jays. I'm not a big Blue Jays fan. I'm not a big baseball fan, but I will tell you this: when it comes to the country of Canada competing for a world title that the U.S. is in, I'm taking Canada all the way. So. Hopefully the Expos come back and also go Jays. Anything left for him there, Matt?
Hopefully the Expos cut. Vikes home opener this Friday night. We're going to be live on YouTube. Check that out. And hey, peace and love to everybody
love.
out there, all the headbangers and heavy metal heads
Ooh,
slamming into my house.
yeah.
But I was going to
absolutely.
say, what other games we got this weekend? Let's just leave it up to fate.
Let's leave it up to
Reese's
fate, just like
crystal
that
ball
crystal
of the
ball.
fate.
Yes, yes.
See you
Well,
next week for the hockey pool, buddy.
We'll see y'all. Tune in
Good
for the
job,
last-
players. You guys are doing awesome. Amazing. Can't wait
Have
to
a
see
good
it
time.
all. What happens?
Yes, enjoy your trip to Edmonton and various other places. We love you.
That already happened.
Yeah.
See ya.
Even more in the future. Yes.
All right, in the corners, fans. Hello, family, friends, and fans of this great league, the BCIHL. We're back for another episode. This is an amazing episode right here. We got 3 new players from the Vikes. The epic interview with Owen Evers, Ethan Anstey, and Sam Schofield. You got to check that one out. That's coming up after this quick report. But first, folks, let's get into the games here. It was the first weekend of regular season action in the BCIHL for the Vikes, at least. And we're going to talk about the games here. The VIU Mariners, the Vikes from the University of Victoria, Simon Fraser University. They are all 1-0, winning their first games of the regular season. The Okanagan Lakers have 2 games under their belt. They're 1-1. They have posted a victory against the Miners, but also took a loss against SFU. Very interesting. We're going to get into it. And the Logan Lake Miners, who were just visiting UVic this past weekend, they're 0-3 so far. Pretty tight game at times, though, against UVic in the third period. And they stormed back with 2 goals. Had a 6-3 loss against the Vikes. Let's get into that game, shall we, folks? Hope you're doing great out there. Everybody's safe and healthy. We're doing okay here at in the corners, and great to see all you players back down there doing your thing that you do best. Now, let's get into the games here. October 6th, Logan Lake Miners at UVic. It was 6-3 for the Vikes. A final shots on goal were 44-24 in favor of the Vikes. Logan Lake went 0 for 9 on the power play. UVic went 1 for 4. Sean Parkinson was in net for the Vikes, 21 saves. And it was Matthew Enns returning in the corner's favorite. Logan Lake Miners goaltender, 38 saves out of 44. Enns also took 2 penalties in the game, so he was the enforcer for the Miners in that game. But the Miners hung in there pretty good. It was Carson Strom who opened the scoring in the first period. Marian Pazitka made it 1-1. That was off of a Jordan Lario breakaway. Parkinson made the original save. Pazitka put in the rebound. Another assist to Gavin Maddie. It was 1-1 after the first period. Then in the second period, it was all Vikes. Schofield, Evers. Schofield made it 2-1. Evers made it 3-1. And then a shorthanded goal from Schofield, his second of the night. 4-1 after 2 periods of play. Like I said, though, in the third period, it was the Miners crawling back into the game. Gavin Maddie scored, making it a 4-2 game. Then Pazitka, his second of the game, made it 4-3. And it was a 1-goal game. But the Vikes got the momentum back and put the game away. Brian Magic from Jenkins and Evers, and Tom Sweeney from Lucas Thompson and Jovan Malay. It was a 6-3 final down there. And the Vikes won their first game of the season. Now, one thing to note for the Vikes in this game was that Dan Gattenby and Kyle Crew were both out of the lineup. And it looks like that might be an issue for a few weeks here. Let's see what happens with that. Kyle Crew was had a sling on one of his hands there, and Gattenby has been missing ever since the Edmonton trip. So we'll see how that pans out for the Vikes. Owen Evers is leading the Vikes offensively from the back end, but they're going to be relying a lot on Aiden Morrison, Kenyon Carta, Quinton Sidaway, and the whole gang back there in the absence of Gattenby and Crew. All right, the next day, October 7th, it was the Miners' turn to go in to face the Mariners. Now the Mariners are just coming off of that big trip to Alaska, like we talked about last week. The Mariners won this game 15-1. Put quite a beating on the Miners, and the Mariners also asserted themselves that these are going to be the guys everyone's going to be gunning for in the league, it looks like. So a few details about that game. Shots on goal were 56-28 in favor of the Mariners. Logan Lake went 1 for 8 on the power play. VIU 1 for 2. Logan Lake Miners, they started Mason Kelly. He let in 6 goals, 23 minutes played. Mason Kelly, you might remember from the Peninsula Panthers. Mike Love, he got his season debut. He let in 9 goals, 36 minutes. That adds up to 15. A lot of goals for the Mariners. Aiden Bangs, 3 goals and an assist. Carson Earhart, hat trick for himself. And Brock Palmer, the big goal scorer from the league. He's on the score sheet, 4 goals and 2 assists. Wyatt Fournier, 26 out of 28 in net for the Mariners. They got a nice little trio of goalies going there right now between Fournier, Crawl, and Robar. So we'll see how that plays out for those guys. They got their first win. Now, let's get into some interesting stuff that happened that day at the Lakers. Now, if you remember in the preseason, the Vikes went in and beat the Red Leafs 5-0. And we all know that SFU has an expansion team this year in the BCIHL because their non-conference team is going and playing against all those American schools and other Canadian schools in exhibition. So how did that one play out? Well, it was a 4-2 win for the Red Leafs. So the Red Leafs won their inaugural game of this iteration of the Red Leafs franchise. So great job by them. They overtook the Lakers. And the Lakers are no joke this year either. They want to win it all as well. So this is quite the rivalry in the making here. SFU at the Lakers. Let's talk about it a little bit. The Lakers, shots on goal, 38 for the Lakers, SFU with 27. So, pardon me, though the Lakers won the game, though the Lakers lost the game, they won the game on the score sheet, but that's not what matters. Power play, Lakers 0 for 4, SFU 1 for 5. The player of the week this week and the star of this game was the SFU goaltender, Cooper Giesbrecht. He went 36 for 38 in net for the Red Leafs to secure that victory for them, their first of the season. So Giesbrecht, he's the player of the week. Last year, he played for the Abbotsford Pilots in the PJHL. You guys know all about that league, I'm sure. Coming from the Langley Trappers as well. A bit of playoff experience with the Langley Trappers. That's Cooper Giesbrecht. But last year with the Abbotsford Pilots, they were a struggling team. So he really hung in there with them. His save percentage around 900, which is nothing to sneeze at. Saving a lot of pucks, getting a lot of shots on. So Cooper Giesbrecht, he's definitely the star of the week from what I can tell here. Got the Red Leafs their win. Okanagan Lakers goalie Connor Lemieux getting some action, 23 out of 27 saves. So the Lakers, they take they beat the Miners the other week, but they take their first loss of the season. So they're going to be hungry when they get back on the ice, no doubt about that. And we're going to see the Lakers in Victoria a couple Fridays from now, so whatever date that is, my head is spinning with all this action here. SFU goal scorers, Liam Tivers, Braden Nager, Nick Wagner, the captain, and Joe Iannacone. All right, I beg your forgiveness with learning you guys. Really excited to see you guys come over to Victoria, you Red Leafs. We're just looking forward to what kind of team you are, to see how you play. It was a 5-0 win for the Vikes in exhibition, but none of that matters now because it's regular season time. Nick Wagner is the captain of the Red Leafs. He had a goal and an assist, so he's no doubt going to be the leader. Him and Reese Lefebvre are the only two returning players that I could tell of that we are familiar with, so that's going to be sweet. Looks like this game was 4-1, kind of coming down to the wire. Colton Boyarsky and KT Walters, those are the goal scorers for the Lakers. What I'm saying is the Lakers scored late to make it 4-2. So kind of a close game. The Lakers outshot them, but they weren't really in a chance to win kind of as the game, as the clock was winding down. So we'll see how the Lakers respond after this tough loss. Sticking on the topic of the Red Leafs, the non-conference team, SFU, we're going to keep our eye on you guys too throughout the year. I was listening to an interview with Mark Coletta. He went on a NCAA podcast just to talk about the SFU program, the non-conference team. That was an interesting listen. So if you're fans of the SFU and of the BCIHL, check that out on their social media. They played Colorado College Tigers this past weekend, 6-3 loss. Goal scorers Tristan Cross, Nick Wicks, and Cicerelli. Okay. They're all goals on the power play. And kind of a close game there from the Red Leafs. Remember their game in Michigan was an 8-1 loss. This one's 6-3. Just make a note of this stuff. SFU Red Leafs look like they might belong in this division. We're going to see how that plays out. Well, folks, that's the update here from In the Corners. We're going to have an In the Corners hockey pool coming up next time Reese is available. As you know, Reese is my diehard co-host. He's out in Ontario, so he's not here today. And keep in mind also this season, we're going to be keeping tabs on our East Coast correspondent, Corey. So he's going to be giving us a lot of information. You know what we do here. We have a high standard of journalism. No doubt we'll be watching the BCIHL action closely. including this Friday night. It's going to be the Mariners are going to be in town to face off against our Vikes. That's going to be 7:30. We'll have the game on YouTube. Both teams 1-0 to start the season. And in preseason, they were 1-1, meaning they both won and lost their matchup, if that makes sense. That'll be Friday, October 13th. That same night, the Lakers look to rebound. They're going to play the Miners in their home rink in Logan Lake. Saturday, October 14th, the Lakers go back-to-back as they head to SFU. We'll look to see. That'll be a rematch from that game, from that week 1 for SFU, to see if they can take it to the Lakers yet again and keep things rolling. Man, we're fired up to see SFU, this expansion team. See what you got. For the Vikes, they have the Mariners this week, this Friday, the week that this podcast comes out. Then we got the Lakers the following, the 20th. Then the week after that, we'll see those SFU Red Leafs expansion teams led by Nick Wagner and Connor Giesbrecht, October 27th. So a full month of hockey, no doubt about that, for the Vikes. Hey, let's pass it off now to this interview. Sound good? Folks, this is an In the Corners awesome interview we got here. We got 3 new players from the Vikes: Sam Schofield, Owen Evers, and Ethan Anstey. A ton to get into. Check this out. Get into it. And everybody, we'll see you down at the rink. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Love seeing you, all you players out there doing your thing. And we'll see you this Friday in Victoria for the Mariners game. They're in town. How about them apples, Reese? Okay, everybody. Here comes the interview. Thanks for everything. Thanks for having us out. Take it easy. Go.